The role of Internet in higher education, a complex systems paradigm. Internet is the most useful technology of modern times, which help us not only in our daily lives but also in our professional lives. The Internet is a virtual networking medium that can be connected and used on various devices these days, like iPads, smartwatch, laptops, tablets, phones, and television. There was a survey conducted last January 2019 about internet use device perspective. There are 76 million total number of active internet users in the Philippines, and that's 71% of the total population. There are 71.44 million total active mobile internet users, and that's 67% of the total population. Let's face it, the internet is slowly and surely taking over every aspect of our contemporary society. We are currently living in a digital world. Today, the younger generation, especially the millennials, can no longer talk about the internet as a discrete entity, but rather as a normal way of life. Now, look at this. These are the human basic needs. But the internet seems to be slowly positioning itself as one of the basic needs, much like water and oxygen. Top 9 major uses of internet. Electronic mail, FTP file transfer, search engines, e-commerce, online banking, cashless transaction, education, collaboration, and social networking. Role of internet in education. It is no doubt that in this modern era, everyone prefers Google, Yahoo, etc. are the topmost choice of people as they offer an easy and instant reach to the vast amount of information in just few seconds. It contains a wealth of knowledge that can be searched at any time. Number 1, cost-effective and affordable education. The internet improves the quality of education, which is one of the pillars of sustainable development of a nation. It provides education through videos like YouTube tutorial videos and web tutorials, which is affordable to everyone and cost-effective. For example, in a TLE class, 2 students are communicating. Hello, Clark. Cooking spaghetti pala ang final practicum natin kay Doc Nicer. Hindi ako marunong magluto. Me too. Manood na lang tayo ng YouTube tutorial ni Gordon. Ha? Sinong Gordon? Yan ba yung kaaway ni President Duterte? Hindi, ito siya oh. Ah, okay. Crush pala yan ni Roslyn. Sige, send mo na lang sa akin ng video. Sent. O, diba? Ang bilis. Bongga! Number 2. Student, teacher, and peer interaction. The internet has allowed students to be in constant touch with teachers or with other fellow classmates with the help of social media, messaging apps, and chat forums. In addition, parents can also interact as well as communicate with the teachers and school authorities about their kids' performance. Example, we have Dr. Samuel group chat. Good morning, students. Please do an advanced reading on chapter 3 and make a short reflection. Pwede po 20 pages, ma'am. If that's short for you, Roslyn, okay. Noted, ma'am. And then Roslyn started the group call. And then here it happens. We have brainstorming, sharing of ideas, and student-to-student interaction. Number 3, effective teaching and learning tool. The teachers can use it as a learning tool by posting their teaching materials, notes, and videos on school website or any educational platform. The learning process becomes interesting and diverse with the use of tutorial videos and notes. Teachers can teach with the use of animation, PowerPoint, slides, and images to capture students' attention. Number 4. Easy access to quality education. Students can easily access free YouTube tutorial videos for free or pay fees online for more quality study materials. Teachers can make use of the internet by providing the students with extra study materials and resources for interactive lessons, quiz, as well as tutorials. Number 5. Interaction with digital media. Regular use of digital media is one of the most basic part of our lives. For example, we have digital bulletin boards, allow displaying of videos and audios to attract attention of the learners. Number 6. Keeping you updated with latest information. Information is the biggest thing which the internet is offering. For example, you want to know the latest information about education, about COVID-19, about showbiz, about history, about politics, or anything. Everything is at your fingertips. Number 7. Learning with multimedia. It helps the students with the learning process as it helps to simplify the knowledge. It helps to visualize what is being taught by the teachers in school, from books to multimedia. The more senses involved, the better the learning. The impact of internet on education. Number 1, increased freedom. Number 2, new culture of learning. Number 3, mass connectivity. And number 4, personalized learning. Increased freedom. Individuals can now get access to quality learning opportunities right at their local circumstances. New culture of learning. The internet offers learners an opportunity to get access to expertise and sources of knowledge that would otherwise be considered out of their immediate environment. Mass connectivity. We are currently living in an era that has been taken over by social media and other interactive internet forums. This has radically transformed the way people interact and share knowledge. Personalized learning. The internet is now offering autonomy whereby the learner can choose when, where, and how to learn. It is now easy for an individual to get online and learn just at the touch of a button. This is basically makes education a controllable part of one's personal life.
Dennis here. I'm gonna share about my experience using internet in teaching. I think it's very effective and efficient in helping our students to understand what we are teaching. It has features to make our presentation in our class more presentable and interesting. And one of the best things about using internet is that communication is easier, and students are into it. This generation, students are more equipped than teachers in using technologies, and I think it's not that expensive. Internet for this generation is not that expensive, especially here in Thailand, and it makes the relationship of students and teachers more having a good rapport. Yeah, so I think internet is really good. Thank you.
Okay. So to tell you about online teaching, for the first few months of online teaching, it was tough for me. I think not only for me, but for my students also, because of course we were not used to it. But because of certain situations like this pandemic, we can't go away with it. So we have to deal with online teaching or teaching using the internet. For the first few months, we needed to adjust, but we adjusted well. It means with the proper use of tools, with open-mindedness from both students and teachers, we were able to cope with the situations. And actually, I think some of my students love online classes because they don't have to wake up in the morning and go to school. But of course, I prefer face-to-face teaching. But what I want to tell is, as teachers, we need to be flexible to situations because we need to adjust, and we cannot leave our students hanging there. We need to cater their needs. We need to teach. They need to learn. So I really think that technology had improved a lot, and we have good internet connections. We have the proper tools to use. We have the proper applications, and actually applications that are easier to use. So it was not a smooth road or smooth sailing, but I can say that even if there are bumps, we went through it very well. And I'm still looking forward to teaching them in the classroom. So that's it. Thank
I am
you.
here today to share with you my experiences during our online class teaching. So there are things to remember, the disadvantages and advantages. For the disadvantages of online teaching are the lack of focus or attention of the learners to focus on screen. Yes, because they really easily get distracted on the things around them. Yes, especially the baby ones. And the second one is the technological issues because I've experienced internet internet interruption and electricity interruption. And in my laptop too, it was like at the middle of my class, my laptop suddenly stopped working. So I have to I have to restart everything. When I went back to my class, some of my pupils left already. So what I did, I have to make a video recording and send it to our group. And the other one is making PowerPoint presentation. It's really time consuming, especially in my case because I don't have book to follow. So I have to find some materials to support my teaching. And I spend a lot of time on making my PowerPoint. Yes. But the advantages of teaching online is you have your own time to choose materials, videos, yeah, and you also have time to spend with your family and friends. And you don't have to be in a hurry to go out as long as you prepare everything ahead of time. Yeah, but if I'm going to choose between face-to-face class and online class, I prefer face-to-face class because I can able to handle my pupils. I can able to determine those kids who needs my help more and those kids who needs just a little help, right? So maybe that's it. Thank you and have a great day again.
Online, social media, communication, this won't work without an internet, as the modern technology invaded our lives nowadays. It provides us a great opportunity to share, connect, and learn from it. Through many years, we've experienced a lot of challenges that help us to be more improved and successful. One of the greatest contribution of the modern technology is the internet, wherein it helps us to connect with people, share our ideas, and have more convenience in acquiring reliable information.
Hello, my name is Henriette May Espolon. I am a senior high school teacher at Regency Polytechnic College. The good things that I experience in using internet in teaching is that with the use of internet, teaching is flexible and convenient. I can utilize a variety of teaching styles and strategies to cater the different needs of the learners. As all we know, learners are diverse individuals. Through internet, we have a quick and numerous access of information. And also, the teaching process with the use of internet is fun and interactive. That's all. Thank you.
The internet has significantly improved the quality of education in the 21st century. It has opened doorways to a wealth of information, knowledge, and educational resources, increasing opportunities for learning in and beyond the classrooms. For many people, going without the internet, even for a few hours, is frustrating.
Very unfortunate situation, and then this is very disappointing situation when it comes to Gambia internet system. Internet is something which is very vital, especially we are living in the world of digital. School assignments are always in a digital form. Students must do their researches in order for them to effectively produce a good assignment for their lecturers. During the last internet outreach, I find it very difficult to do my assignment. I'm currently doing my diploma, and then I'm on my final month on the diploma level in journalism, but I find it so difficult to do my assignments. I am given so many assignments to do, but I couldn't do it. I try to do all what I can so that I can have internet connection. The time I realized that it is nationwide internet outreach. I think Gambia should not rely on only one internet suppliers like Gamtel. We should have another option. There should be another company that will compete with Gamcell. But if we have only one monopoly of sharing internet connection to all these GSM operators in the country, we must face issues like this always.
During the course of the 12 hours internet outage on Tuesday, GSM companies have been sending messages to their customers that there is a general internet outage in the country, and the issue is being handled with utmost urgency. Osman G. Dabo, a diploma student at the Media Academy for Journalism and Communications, described the internet outage as disappointing.
Personally, I am so much disappointed with this current situation of internet blackout, because this is the fifth time in the period of 1 year we facing the same situation. And for me personally, I'm a student, and mostly we rely on internet to do our researches. It is very unfortunate as a country. What I suggest is that we shouldn't depend on only one gateway system. As a country, we should have a backup system whereby when we have lapses in this area, we can connect to that one, so that connectivity will be able to go on. Yeah.
Some teachers rely on online materials to prepare lessons and students to extend their range of learning. Jibi Balde, an assistant intensive English course coordinator at the Islamic Online University, says the lack of internet has affected their administrative work, and that includes a processing of application forms, confirmation and documentation of students' payments, adding that it has equally slowed down their electronic communications. When the pandemic first emerged in the country in 2020, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education (MOPSI) took a quick step by suspending all learning activities across the length and breadth of the country. Some schools have resorted to the use of online classes via WhatsApp and other social media apps to complement their normal school lessons. Reporting for the Fatu Network News Review, Usman Jata.
Good evening once again, and thank you, Sir Jayson. So let's continue with our topic for tonight. But before that, I wanted to show you a video first, which is in regards with the study that we're going to tackle as the continuation of our topic. Okay, so let's start.
Hello and welcome to Teachings and Education, 21st Century Learning and Life Skills. Credit and information found at Partnership for 21st Century Learning. A link to their site will be provided below. Teachers must help their students develop specific work and life skills. Now, why should educators care about 21st century learning? Schools have a responsibility to nurture their young students into functioning 21st century citizens. 21st century skills are absolutely essential for everyday living. These skills are necessary for life, work, and citizenship. Understand that life outside of school is nothing like the classroom environment and requires different ways to succeed. Teaching these skills to students will help them become successful later on in their lives. Partnership for 21st Century Learning offers a framework that focuses on student outcomes, which are your goals and learning objectives. There are 4 components, and the first one is content knowledge and 21st century themes. School curriculum will have students learning subjects such as mathematics, science, world geography, civics, reading and writing, and more. Students must master these core disciplines just to graduate high school. Students must learn at a high level by recognizing and understanding the 21st century themes within these key subjects. Environmental literacy and all the factors that affect it, economic, business, entrepreneurial, and civic themes, global awareness, and communicating around the world. And lastly, health literacy and taking responsibilities for one's personal health. Now on to the second student outcome, which is learning and innovation skills. These skills are broken down into the 4 C's. The first C is creativity. Students must come up with innovative ideas and then put those ideas into action. Next is communication. Teach students to articulate their thoughts effectively using oral and written communication strategies. The third C is for collaboration. Have your students practice soft skills and working efficiently with diverse teams. And the last C is for critical thinking. That is being able to analyze and evaluate evidence, as well as use deductive reasoning for any of life's situations. We now move on to the third of 4 student outcomes: information, media, and technology skills. Students need to be able to access all of the information available to them, and there is a lot of information out there. Although students may be adept in social media, our children should have an understanding of media messaging and how to create media products. Teachers still need to keep students up to date with the rapid changes in technology. They should be able to use digital technologies as communication and networking tools, as well as have an understanding of the dangers of technology. Students can use the technology that they have to manage information in a beneficial way. And the last student outcome, which is life and career skills. And there are many careers out there. Now, when a student enters the workforce, they must be flexible and able to adapt to changes. As adults, we know how important it is to adapt to new and challenging situations. Some more life and career skills, besides being flexible, include having initiative and self-direction, social and cross-cultural skills, having productivity and accountability, and lastly, leadership and responsibility. After student outcomes, 21st century learning is broken down into support systems for schools. First off, schools should have 21st century standards. These standards should emphasize understanding and depth of knowledge, while building relationships and understanding across various academic subjects and themes. Second, assessments of 21st century skills. This includes the big 3, summative, formative, and diagnostic assessments. Also included should be standardized test evaluations. Third on the list is 21st century curriculum and instruction. That means teaching 21st century skills in the context of the key subjects and core disciplines. Next up are the 21st century learning environments. Here, teachers should create real-world type learning environments for their students, and they can do this through project-based learning and cooperative learning experiences. And lastly, we have professional development for 21st century learning. These types of professional development for teachers should be directed on various ways. Teachers can integrate these 21st century skills into their classroom. So, right now I just want to say thank you for your time. subscribe to this channel.
Okay, so as we already watched the short clip, so it's all about with how 21st century learning works, supposedly. And we know that we are all applying this type of learning process, especially during these days, not just only a traditional one that we used before or during our times that we are inside the classroom, but then now we are utilizing different multimedias, including internet, in order to do so. And now let's proceed to our study about the internet technology and its application in competence development of highly educated staff, the role of transfer Google educational apps as a collaborative learning tool among. So we all know that these days we cannot have our classes inside the classroom, especially for those regions or countries which is most affected by the pandemic. So we are still having our online classes. And what did you use for your online classes? Usually some of the application or some of the learning tools you need to subscribe in order that you can use it perfectly, or there's a limited time for some of the video conferencing tool. But then when you look at on the different side of it, which is the Google. So for the Google Gmeet, and some of its application are usually free, or you can use it for free. Now let's take a look with this one. So for the modern massive open online courses, which is you can just enroll online and then you can have that course afterwards, like what we are doing this day. So we enroll in PCU, but then we are studying online. But in this case, for the study, it's not that way. Oh, you can see a platform or the community platform here that they are going to follow in order to complete a certain courses and how it works. And of course, with the hierarchical role-based sequential siloid, so it's kind of challenging when it comes to education. Unlike the traditional one that all of your students, you can see it inside the classroom, and then the teacher is there, but then it's kind of limited. So for this one, you can explore more. You know, or you will know a lot of people around the world, which is not just like beside you or within a specific range. Now take a look with the main focus. The main focus of the study is the education or the education experience. What are you going to experience with a specific arrangement when it comes to education? So for traditional, you can see your classmates, of course, like face-to-face, or you can hold them, or you can hold the books or everything, which is in actual. But then let's take a look for the brighter side when it comes to the diverse form of learning, which is you will know a lot of people around the world virtually. Okay, so here, similar to the traditional way of learning, so we have the teach, which is we have the teacher, we have our professors, and there's a teacher in the platform. Then engage, learn the use of the mobile phone. So during the university, what are your majors or what are the courses that you are taking? And then the development. So development changes from time to time. As we say, oh, there's a continuous development, even though it's a traditional development or a modern development. Then we have the network. So the network, what is a network? I think everybody knows what is a network, right? And then how are you going together socially when it comes to virtual form? Then the spontaneity, the collaboration, and then after you finish a certain courses, what are you going to do? Or where are you going to go? So let's take a look with that, or let's think about what will happen with this type of the modern learning. So the goal or the objective of this one, or this type of MIS, we have enable connections and communities inside and outside the boundaries. So as what I've said earlier, not just only the people that you knew inside the classroom, but of course you will know a lot more. Then relationships, serendipity, and the vigorous debate, generation, and exchange of ideas. So when you're looking at or browsing at the internet, you can see there a lot of topics, which is there are topics that they need to discuss. And you can see also comments there or different comments when it regards to the topic, or when you just type specific information that you wanted to know, there's several results. But then you need also to verify whether the result is correct or not. Then let's see the community platform. This is similar platform as the recruitment for the traditional schools. And then we have the admission. Then of course, after the admission that you already enrolled, so the education or you need to study, there's a teacher, and then there's a development from like first year, second year, third year, or fourth year, or if you have fifth year in your course, and then where's the place and the engagement. So engagement for the traditional classroom is usually between the student and the teacher because we are on one room. But then the engagement on the new platform for the MIS, so it's not just only between the teacher and the students, but it's between different people across the world that wanted to participate in a certain topic. So for the community platform, let's go back to this one first. We have the website. So in that website, they are offering different courses there, of course, and then the professional development and the placement. So for the professional development, after you finish with your courses, so you still need to develop more skills in order that you will be aware or you will be in a specific modernization. Then students and alumni engagement. So I will show you here a certain example for this type of platform and its application. And also down here, you can see the different key tools in order to run this platform. So let's see. So this is a pie chart, which is we will be studying the Fox MIS here. So this is one of the top 3 Google searches. And then you can also see here how many members, the site, the electronic portfolios, and then the post and the comments for the interaction. Then we have 250 plus courses, and it hits 30,000 to 35,000 month for like 55% are new for this said platform. Then let's take a look with the demonstration. So when you are looking at this one, this is Fox MIS Connect Innovative, and then Fox School for like business. Now, as you can see here, we have the brochure. So with certain arrows in order that you can easily identify it. And then we have the news. So it's like Facebook though, right? So in the Facebook, you can see the tools there. So the home, for example, and then other tools such as marketplace, or if you are managing different pages, or if you wanted to go to your newsfeed, so you can also see that one. So it's like the same tab as when you are looking at community platform for MIS. Then we have the middle part. The first one is the top, and then we have the middle part. So you can also see discover others in order to know more or to see what others are doing with that platform. Then we also have here the feature top student. So for certain courses, they will put the academic leaders there or the students which is performing top with the courses. Then the aggregation. So we also have aggregation when it comes to the traditional classroom, right? Like there's topic there, and then you try to connect with each other. Then we have the courses that you wanted to enroll if you are new with this platform or you just engage in this type of learning. Then discover others, of course. You for us, we always wanted to know what others are doing especially when it comes to learning, because you wanted not to be left behind. Then we also have professional and achievement points here for the portfolio points for the leaders. So earlier we have the corner for the performing or top performing students, and also afterwards we also have for the professionals. Then we have the syllabus. So traditional syllabus, some of the teachers will just say it, or others, they will give you a hard copy. And then that syllabus or the hard copy syllabus is kind of hard to like modify. Then we have the interaction. So interaction is basic in every learning situation. Then also we have the individual control. Whether you are a faculty, you are a student, you can control your own profile. And then what you can see, what you wanted to join or what you wanted to discover. Then for the student's view, you can also see this one, the responses to your resume, the potential, like for example, the potential employers when you're about to graduate or when you're about to complete the courses. And then other students also, which is we are replying to resume for some of the information. Then discovery and aggregation. So of course here you can see or you will know what else more about it. Then we have the research for professional development teaching. So teaching always evolve. So for the traditional teachers, not that since we are on the 21st century, I'm not saying that traditional teachers did not teach well. They taught us well. That's why we become, or all of us is where we are right now. But still, some of the teachers are left behind when it comes to the use of technology, but others are coping up into it. And I really do, I'm really amazed with the teachers, which is, even though it's kind of hard for them, but they are trying to learn. And of course, each one of us, we are learning or we are trying to learn what is new. So we have the research here for the professional development and teaching. So as you can see, so we are continuing for the development professionally. So we try to develop ourselves at the same time so that we cannot just have the same ideas all throughout, but new ideas will keep on coming to us every time. Then we have professional development. See, we have the graph here for before, which is the traditional one, and we also have the after. Now, if you can see, we have kind of food chain and food web here, if you are familiar. So the left side is a food chain, and then the right side is a food web. So meaning to say, when we're talking about that one, food chain, if one of the link will die, the other will die also, since there's no other support. But when you are looking at the graph on or the figure on the right side, when one of the link is broken or died, there's still information or the other will still receive information. So take a look with the employer, the faculty, the students. Even though there's two-way here for in between the faculty and the students, but when you are looking at between the employer and the faculty, there's a one-way. The arrow is only one arrowhead. The same way here when it comes to the employer and the career services, it's also one way, but in between the career services and the students, it's two-way. So when there's two links here, or for example, just one link, the faculty will be broken. There's no connection between the employer and the student. So what will happen? And then the same way here, if the career services is missing, there is no connection between this employer and the student. But when you're looking at the other side, so it's two-way. So student and employer, there's a direct connection. And then there's also connection between like student here and the faculty department, the employer, and the career services. So meaning to say, this is a diverse, which is you can directly get that information without the other. Then continuous development model, it shows the comparison between the juniors and the seniors. This is for electronic portfolios or the approved electronic portfolios, cumulative documents per e-portfolios, the post, pages, attachment that they are doing in the community platform. Then cumulative revision per electronic portfolios, page views per electronic portfolios every year, and then the unique visitors per electronic portfolio per year. So as we are browsing, it leads us into different sites, right? So meaning to say, if they put up a certain MIS there, they can find out how many visitors or how many views they have in a certain period of time. Then the changing professional development. So we have side-by-side comparison between the traditional development and the continuous development, which is applicable for the 21st century learning. So before, our teachers will just go into the board and just write. So sometimes our teacher will not even like discuss whatever they are writing, but then they will just let one students to keep on writing it on the board and then erase and then write it again. But this day, students will get bored with that one. So they wanted to like watch a video. They wanted you to have your multimedia presentation that includes your PowerPoint presentation, so on and so forth. Not just only one type of, okay, just keep on talking here. Our lesson for today is about this one. And then you need to have your project about this one without any visual. So how does your student learn with it? You know that for us teachers, we knew that our students is learning best when they are looking at something and listening at the same time. So, and the second one can be hard to find. Why? Some of the books are not available in the library. So where are you going to get some of your resources? So you will wait, or if there is an available book for the library, then you need to wait for the others to return it if it's limited, though, and there's a lot of students taking a specific course. But for the continuous development permanent URL, you can just easily type and then you can get your answers. Very fast and convenient. Traditional one, the third one, we have isolated. But for the continuous development, you can push to Google. So Google is my new best friend. As what my students always mention, teacher, I'll search it in Google. Oh, I asked them one time, I haven't teach you this one. Why did you put it in my test? Teacher, I asked Google. So Google is their new best friend. And in that case, you can easily identify whether your students are literally reading or listening or studying your lesson, because you can see the difference between their answer, since Google is easy to access. Then sequential. Of course, you are looking at your book from the page 1 all the way, and you need to browse them. And on the other way around, individual control of digital identity. So it's fast. Topic, search, and then you have all the answer. Just verify the answer whether it's correct or not. Then limited exposure. Well, limited exposure. So limited resources, limited exposures at the same time. But for the continuous development, it's visible, easy to access. Traditional developments, it's forced. Why? If you will not open the book, if you will not read it, how are you going to get those informations? But for the other one, it's frequent updates, or it's always updated, so you can always see what you are looking for. Then courses co-creation. So this is the continuation of the community platform from the traditional courses all the way to the new one. So you can see the post again, and then they have their own syllabus. So for the courses before, you can see here we have our course 1, and then we have our course 2. When you are looking at the course 1 and course 2, they are specifically not related to each other here, or not connected to each other for before. But then when you are looking at the after, you can see the relationship between your course 1 and course 2. So we're still talking here about the same people. We have the expert, the students, and the faculty. But the difference between the before and after when it comes to the courses is the connection between the course 1 and the course 2, or the relationship between the course 1 and the course 2. And also the flow here is in one flow, but here it's vice versa, or it's not a passive flow. The co-creation model between the traditional, the course or the co-created in 2012 and then 2013. And then you can see here the data down here. So I will not be explaining all the way here because this is just an actual data for the table, and I will be giving you the copy later. So you can just go back into it and then read if you wanted. So then changing courses for the traditional course, it is close. Why close? So whatever they will give you, that's it. Ideas and content from the others. So there is a give and take here, or the sharing of ideas for the co-created courses. And let's take a look with this one. Only prepackaged content. Whatever they printed, that will be the course. But for this one, flowing interaction. So as the ideas and the content from one another, so there's a lot of ideas. Stylized interaction. So they already they already give whatever you were gonna do when it comes to that course. But then here we have the content ownership. So if you're a student, as what you saw earlier, so you can personalize your own. Then only instructor content. Why? Because they're the one that did it, or it's from the higher that it's being passed into them, but they're the one with the control, especially the times that they're just using typewriter in order to type those courses. So what do you think? They will just keep on typing it, unlike these days that we have the soft copy that you can just forward into the students, or they can just you can just share them through Google Drive or Google Docs, right? So for the co-created one, you can see here that there's a lot of exposure. There's a lot of the things that you learn when we come to the traditional one, go all the way to the modern courses. Now, there's a question right here, and we're almost done. Can education respond? Of course. So with the leverage strengths and minimize vulnerabilities, competitive advantages, so the community experiences a modern and a new type of development that when we literally wanted to learn, we can learn. And then we can adopt specific changes. As we said, change is constant, right? So we need to adopt any changes that is happening in our environment. Okay, so the education experience. So this is what we started earlier. So we will also end in here. When it comes to this studies, we have the teach, engage, learn, collaborate, network, social, spontaneous development, college and major, the use of the mobile phones, which is so necessary these days, and then graduation and the placement. So as also you can see here the sources for the studies and the news. And in addition with my report, so every one of us knows this things or knew this thing. So we have the Google Apps for Education, which is the one that we usually using. So we usually use the free ones because it's kind of expensive to subscribe, but make sure that we utilize all of those free Google sites or Google Apps or other application that we can use in order to be an effective teacher or an effective educator, an effective learner, and then a modern person with a 21st century knowledge. So that's the end of my report, and thank you for listening. Let's continue with the last activity that we have before we will close with this entire topic.